Hello everyone, my name is Ketan and welcome to my channel. I hope you all are doing good. Today I am going to tell you a story of most disputed place in India, Ayodhya, the dispute between Ram Mandir and Babri Masjid. This dispute was unresolved with us for many years due to religious sentiments attached with that place. To know the story, we need to go back to the past because this problem had deep roots in history. But I will start with the events when this dispute began. The first recorded instances of religious violence in Ayodhya occurred in the 1855. Certain Muslims claimed that the Bairagis of Hanuman Gadi have destroyed a mosque that existed atop it. The Muslims attacked on the Hanuman Gadi but were driven back from it. They hid inside the mosque of Babar that lay at a distance of less than a kilometer from Hanuman Gadi. In that process, the Babri mosque was attacked by the Hindus. Since then, local Hindu groups made occasional demands that they should have the possession of the site and that they should be allowed to build a temple on the site, all of which were denied by then colonial British government. Both the Hindus and Muslims are said to have worshipped at the mosque temple, Muslims inside the mosque and Hindus outside the mosque but inside the compound. After British took over the state, they put up the railing between the two areas to prevent dispute. But Britishers had already identified the biggest weakness of India, which is religious conflicts, and started the strategy of divide and rule. Further, in 1946, Akhil Bharatiya Ramayan Mahasabha started an agitation for the possession of the site. In 1949, Sant Digvijay Nath of Gorakhnath Math joined the ABRM and organized a 9-day continuous recitation of Ramcharitmanas, at the end of which the Hindu activists rushed into the mosque and placed idols of Rama and Sita inside. People were led to believe that idols had miraculously appeared inside the mosque. The date of this event was 22nd December 1949. The then Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, insisted that the idol should be removed. However, the local official KKK Nair, known for his Hindu nationalist connections, refused to carry out orders, claiming that it would lead to communal riots. The police locked the gates so that the public from both the religions could not enter. However, the idols remained inside and priests were allowed entry to perform daily worship. So the mosque had been converted into de facto temple. Both the Sunni Waqf Board and the ABRM filed civil suits in a local court, staking their respective claims to the site, and then the land was declared to be under dispute and the gates remained locked. In the 1980s, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad belonging to the Hindu nationalist family Sangha Parivar launched a new movement to reclaim the site for the Hindus and to erect a temple. In 1986, a district judge ruled that the gates would be reopened and Hindus permitted to worship inside, providing a major boost to the movement. In September 1990, BJP leader L.K. Advani began a Ratha Yatra to Ayodhya in order to generate support for the movement. Advani later stated in his memos that if Muslims are entitled to an Islamic atmosphere in the Mecca, if Christians are entitled to Christian atmosphere in the Vatican, why it is wrong for the Hindus to expect Hindu atmosphere in the Ayodhya? The Yatra resulted in communal riots in its wake, prompting the government of Bihar to arrest Advani. In spite of this, a large number of Kar Sevak tried to attack the mosque and they were stopped by the Uttar Pradesh police. In the battle between them, several Kar Sevak were killed. On 6 December 1992, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and its associates, including the BJP, organized a rally involving 1.5 lakh Kar Sevak at the side of mosque. The ceremonies included speeches by BJP leaders, and shortly after the speeches, the mosque was attacked by the mob with a number of improvised tools, and they brought it to the ground in few hours. Nobody could control the mob as it was huge in numbers, and then after the demolition of mosque, riots broke in Ayodhya and it spreaded like a fire across India. Many major Indian cities including Mumbai, Bhopal, Delhi and Hyderabad got heavily affected with riots. On 12 March 1993, Mumbai's underworld gang D Company organized series of 12 bomb explosions in Mumbai for the revenge of Babri Masjid demolition and communal riots. This single-day attack resulted in 257 deaths and 1400 injuries. Many Muslim organizations have continued to express outrage for the destruction of the disputed structure. In July 2005, terrorists attacked the makeshift temple at the site of destroyed mosque. In 2007, M.N. Gopal Das, the then head of the Ram temple, received phone calls making threat against his life. Many terror attacks happened in India in previous 2 decades, and majority of jihadi organizations gave demolition of Babri Masjid as an excuse for their terrorist attacks. And then the day arrived when, after waiting for years, Supreme Court finally gave their verdict on this case in the rule of BJP government itself. Ram Mandir was always the primary agenda for BJP in their election manifesto from the time when the party was formed. The final judgment in the Ayodhya dispute was declared by the Supreme Court of India on 9th November 2019. The Supreme Court of India ordered the disputed land to be handed over to trust to build the Ramajanma Bhoomi temple. The court also ordered the government to give an alternate 5 acres of land in another place in Ayodhya to Sunni Waqf Board for the purpose of building a mosque. This verdict was not given on the basis of religious sentiments but on the basis of facts. The court observed that archaeological evidences from the Archaeological Survey of India shows that the Babri Masjid was constructed on the structure whose architecture was distinctly indigenous and non-Islamic. Thanks to K.K. Muhammad, who has done this archaeological survey of Ram Mandir and took so much efforts to find the facts. Secondly, the court observed that all 4 of the Janmasakis, means biographies of the first Sikh Guru, Guru Nanak, states in detail that Guru Nanak made pilgrimage to Ayodhya and offered prayers in the Ram temple in the year 1510. The court also mentioned that a group of Nihang Sikhs performed puja in the mosque in 1857. The court said that Muslim parties including the Sunni Waqf Board failed to establish exclusive possession of the disputed land. It said that the Hindu parties furnished better evidence to prove that Hindus had worshipped continuously inside the mosque, believing it to be the birthplace of the Hindu deity Shri Ram. Now the question comes regarding the demolition of Babri Mosque. Many have criticized this act and showed their outrage against it. Even court had ruled that the demolition of Babri Masjid was in the violation of law. Definitely this was very wrong act and I do not support this. Rather, I do not support any activity which include purposeful destruction of religious structures in a hostile way. But if this is wrong, then there are many events happen in history which are either completely ignored or being deliberately kept hidden from people. And for those events, nobody has asked for justice. In the entire history of our country, India has never invaded any other countries, and that is the reason I love my nation and its culture. But India has seen the darkest days in its history, not only when Britishers were ruling it, but before that too. From Islamic literary sources, it's clear that over the centuries the Mughal invaders and rulers of the medieval times were only carrying out the commandments of Islam. When they eliminated, captured, enslaved and violated not only Hindus but destroyed or converted over 10,000 Hindu temples and monuments whenever and wherever possible. Major examples are Somnath Temple, Dwarka, Vishwanath Temple, Mathura, Ellora, Trimbakeshwar, Narsinghpur, Pandharpur and Hampi. Archaeological evidence proves that in the same area, many of the mosques and dargahs were built with the materials of purposely ruined Hindu monuments, which were the primary signs of Indian culture. The same thing was happened with the Ram Mandir that existed before Babri Masjid. According to the mosque inscriptions, it was built in the year 1528 by Mughals on the order of Mughal Emperor Babur by destroying the Ram temple. But finally in 2090, Ayodhya got its justice after 500 years. Because it was a fight for the truth and not against any religion. This was the battle against the one which came from outside and tried to destroy our cultural heritage. Doesn't matter which religion someone follow, but being part of the India, I expect everyone should respect cultural heritage of this country. Building Ram Mandir may not make India a developed country, even no other religious structure will do it. But at least long pending issue has been resolved. To build Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, people had to make so much struggle even if it was the birthplace of Shri Ram. After knowing all this struggle, I recollected one well-known slok from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir-bhavati bharata abhyutthanam dharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. जब जब इस पृथ्वी पर धर्म की हानि होती है और अधर्म आगे बढ़ता है, तब तब मैं इस पृथ्वी पर जन्म लेता हूँ, सज्जनों और साधुओं की रक्षा के लिए, दुर्जनों और पापियों के विनाश के लिए और धर्म की स्थापना के लिए मैं हर युग में जन्म लेता हूँ.